Hi Cancer, how's it going? I'm excited to do this reading because it's very different to the last one that I did for you guys. Some of the same cards are coming up, but they're coming up in a really different order, so it's really interesting. So the first card out was the Lovers in reverse, which is quite interesting, and followed by the Tower. So this would suggest some kind of a breakup between two people, or some kind of love situation that's gone awry. And it's funny because whilst a breakup would suggest some kind of heartache or discomfort, maybe leading to a lack of self-confidence in most cases, you're actually in the High Priestess energy. So whoever this person is, and whatever they did or said, you kind of maybe knew all along that they weren't really the right person. Or at least maybe it was a short-lived affair and it didn't really sort of... I'm not seeing this as like a major life event as such. I'm seeing it as something that sort of is uncomfortable, it's annoying, it happened, and you kind of move on from it. This is you right now, the Magician. It's like you're going back to the drawing board. You're taking stock of what's happened, and you're going back to the drawing board. The Magician for me also always suggests a kind of patience. And a kind of concentration. Sort of going back to oneself, taking one's time, reevaluating. Because if we think about magic, it's a very hopeful thing, isn't it? To believe in magic. But it's kind of amazing. Not everyone believes in magic, right? It's funny because we have this shadow self and light self again, as we did in the last reading a few weeks ago now. And it's funny because in the last one I was seeing the shadow self as you, but in this one I'm seeing it as the light self. So maybe this breakup or this fallout with whoever this is, you know, maybe it was a love relationship, maybe it was a fallout with a friend, maybe it's a fallout with some kind of family member. But whatever it is, it's kind of painful because we have this Tower moment. So the Tower obviously, you know, suggests a kind of, yeah, a breaking of things in order for things to rebuild. So like, you know, the building comes down and then it's your job to build it back up again, which can be tiring and time consuming, but I always see the Tower as a good thing. People get a bit scared when they see it in the Tarot deck, but I'm not scared by it because we've got the Magician afterwards. So I think you kind of knew, right? There's a kind of knowing to the Magician, and there's very much a knowing to the High Priestess. This was your energy going into this relationship, the High Priestess. So it seems to me like you went into this relationship teaching the other person a lot, and you've come out as the Magician. So you've obviously learnt something as well, but you're coming out strong. You're coming out as this guy. You're not coming out as this guy. So you're okay. I mean, it's annoying, isn't it? It's always annoying to break up with someone. It's always annoying when something comes to an end abruptly, obviously. But sometimes that happens and sometimes it's okay. Looking at your goals and aspirations, it's funny because whilst you were with this person, whoever they were, there was a certain amount of discomfort and boredom. You were a little bit bored in your work. There was something that you were doing. It was like the vitality in the thing that you normally do on a daily basis. So that suggests, your job, essentially, your activity. Maybe it's a hobby, but the kind of energy and the love of what it is that you do had been sort of like the fire had been turned down slightly. So the person that you were with was kind of depleting your enthusiasm for what it is that you do. Like there was a questioning around your activity. A kind of boredom. And I think as you break up with this person and the tower moment happens and you go back to the drawing board, we then have this card, which I adore. Réalisation des souhaits, which means basically that your hopes and dreams are realized. Now this is a very Cancerian card. Look at all that water behind him. He's very supported by the water, isn't he? And he's very safe. He's kind of at one with his element, right? Because he's not in the water drowning at the bottom. He's on the leaf. He's supported by nature. And like the magician, he's with his treasure chest. Do you see? For me, these are very similar cards. The magician trusts in what he does. He has a plan. He has formulas that he's playing around with to find the truth, to enlighten us, right? And do you see that the light is coming out of this magic chest as well? The treasure. So whatever it is that your activity involves, maybe you're an artist, maybe you're, I don't know, whatever it is that you do, a doctor, a scientist, whatever it is that you do, the knowledge base that you get from this activity is what is holding you. That's the thing that supports you. And you can do it on your own. There's a lot of joy that you get around this activity that you're doing. Now, in the last reading, we had the same card. And in the last reading, it was all about light and shadow, wasn't it? And this kind of idea that you needed to go into the light. And it was like, is that sun going to set faster than you can get to it? But it's funny, in this reading, it's completely different. That card is about you being alone and being on your boat and sort of going towards your abundance. And that bird is very hopeful. It's like that bird is kind of flying with you. It's on the journey with you. Again, you're kind of supported by nature. Sorry, there's a really annoying reflection, but I think you can sort of see what I'm getting at here. The wind is in your sails and you're going towards the sun. It's like a well-deserved, it's like you didn't need that other person. Because this is who you really are anyway, the High Priestess, right? This like empowered, knowing, kind woman or man. It's very hopeful, this reading. Unlike the other one, which is a little bit harder, this one suggests that since that last reading, there's been a kind of evolution in the right direction, and that maybe that breakup has kind of taught you something. It's taught you to detach, I think, is what it's done. Yeah, this is you kind of walking away. Now the cups are full, which again suggests that the magic that you do on a daily basis supports you. Basically, what this reading is suggesting to me is focus on your career, don't focus on love right now, because you don't really need... The relationships in your life are not actually the thing that's going to bring you the joy right now. The thing that brings you the joy is the magic that you get from your activity. Or the magic that your activity creates, manifests. Yeah, your job brings you security. It's funny because, obviously this is the opposite card of the Tower, right? The Tower suggests a kind of crumbling of the foundations and everything falling apart. But that's connected with your relationship. And then any connections with your job is always positive. So the cups are full and there's security. Again, you're supported by nature. Nature's on your side. The universe is on your side when it comes to your work. Which tells me that basically you just need to be focusing on that right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't always need to be chasing love. We don't always need to be in a relationship, right? Sometimes the love can come from the activity that we do. And sometimes we need to focus on the activity in order for that to develop in the right way, so that we can then feel learned and fulfilled intellectually, so that we can take that knowing into a relationship more successfully, right? We're not always in the right place to be in a relationship, and that's fine. I think we love lots of people in this life. I think for the water signs, people come in and come out, go in, go out. They don't... I mean, as I said, this could be a family relationship or a friend relationship that's falling apart or has fallen apart. I do see it as a love relationship though, because it is the lovers, and I mean, let's see how it resonates with you. Depends on the person, but I do see this as a love relationship. But I love all the energy that's around you at the moment, because you're very much contented with yourself, with your knowledge. These cards are like the same, aren't they? Look how happy she is. And again, you had this card in the last reading. And the last reading, it was all about you going into your light. And I said that half of your face was in the light and the other half was in the shadow, your shadow self. But it's funny because you've got the same card basically twice, with these birds who are supporting you again, supported by nature, right? You're holding the feather of good luck in your hand, and you've got it in your hair as well. And it's like you've gone from being the shadow self and the light self to being light self twice. Do you see how these are mirrors of each other? They're literally the same card. How do they title them? So liberation of the self and self-conscience. It's funny because the deck is all about birds. And in both of these cards, you're supported by the birds. And actually, the illustration they've used for the deck generally is quite, I'd never actually noticed that before, but it's quite kind of telling of this reading and where you're at right now. It's like you're like this free flying bird in the universe surrounded by the stars, and that's kind of all you want and need right now. You don't really need the rest. You don't need all the drama. There's a lot of drama going on when it comes to relationships right now. And you don't want the drama. You just want to be this guy. You just want to be on your own, working away, creating the magic. There's nothing more beautiful, really, because that's your purpose. I mean, relationships are wonderful, aren't they, if they come in at the right time? But I think what this reading is saying is now is not the right time, and that's okay. Why are you in such a rush? Enjoy this moment. You've worked really hard for this magic. And it's the magic that takes you from your shadow self into your light self. It's that activity, whatever it is that you do, and it's funny because in your duality card, you have reconnaissance and indifférence. Reconnaissance is a sort of self-realization versus indifférence, which is indifference. Again, this idea of knowledge, connaissance. You're in your knowledge at the moment. Your knowledge is what is leading the way, is what is giving you the light. All these connections are all of your knowledge, and that is overshadowing the night. And do you remember in the last reading, it was all about night and day. And the day is taking over. The light is winning. So you've gone towards that light, and the light is winning. And the light is your knowledge, which is connected with your activity, which is connected to a certain kind of magic. No one can take that magic away from you. Literally the same. I mean, it couldn't really be more obvious if it tried, right? Security. Your cups are full. The fruits are ripe. You're supported by nature. And your shadow and light self has gone from your light to light self. So you've literally come into the light. My readings are really about that, sort of energetically speaking. They're about us looking for the light and finding the light, and then losing it again, and then finding it again. That's what life is, isn't it? It's just this kind of dance between the light and the shadow, and like trying to find the balance. Sometimes we're in the dark, and that's fine. Then we go into the light again. And then we go back into the dark. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's fine. It's beautiful. It's all beautiful. But I love this. I love you because it was such a different reading of this card last time. You're on the boat and you're with that bird, and you're so happy on your boat on your own, going towards your light. You're so happy there. So why overthink it? Just enjoy that journey that you're on. Let's not worry too much about this crap. Relationships come and go, people come and go. There are so many wonderful people out there. Why overthink it and burden ourselves when all this magic is in our life already? Let's just focus on that. It's just so much more productive. Own your magic, because not everyone has that magic, and you have it. Reap the rewards from the chest. Open that chest, see what's inside of it. Nothing can go wrong. Look at how that leaf is supporting your magic. Nature is on your side. Nothing can go wrong. Look at how balanced those waterfalls are. I love it. Behind you, with all that light behind you. And the light that is in this card, all of it is coming from that chest, from your magic. So focus on your own magic, and for the moment, just silence out the rest, because it's not serving you. I love it. It's a beautiful reading. Okay, guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, or comment below, and I will do another one of these in a couple of weeks. See you soon. Bye.